Welcome to IELTS CELPIP MasterPrep, your trusted source for real exam-based practice tests. Every test you see here is inspired by current exam trends, and each one comes with full model solutions to help you master every section. Here's our daily schedule. IELTS tests drop every morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, and CLP tests every evening at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. No matter which exam you're preparing for, we've got you covered every single day. Are you ready for today's test? Give it your best shot and comment your score. The top 5 scorers will be featured in our monthly Achievers newsletter and awards. Want your name included? Let's begin.
Part 1. You will hear a man inquiring about public transit passes in his city. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 10. Thank you for calling Calgary Transit Information Line. My name is Karen. How can I help you today? Hi Karen, my name is David. I just moved to Calgary from Winnipeg about 3 weeks ago, and I'm trying to figure out what kind of monthly pass would work best for me. I'll be commuting to work downtown every day. Welcome to Calgary, David. I'd be happy to help. For daily commuters, we have a few options. Our most popular choice is the Adult Monthly Pass, which is currently $112 per month, and gives you unlimited rides on all buses and the C train throughout the entire city. Okay, that sounds reasonable. I'm working at an office on 7th Avenue, and I live out in the Northeast, near Martindale. Would the monthly pass cover express routes as well, or is that an extra charge? Great question. The Adult Monthly Pass covers all regular routes, express routes, and the C train. There's no additional cost. Now, if you're interested in saving a bit more, we also offer a discounted annual pass. Instead of paying $112 each month, you'd pay $1,210 upfront for the full year, which works out to about a 15% saving. That's tempting, but I'm not sure I want to commit to a full year just yet since I'm still on a 6-month probation at work. What about a weekly pass? Is that a thing here? Unfortunately, we discontinued the weekly pass back in January of this year. However, we do have a low-income transit pass, called the LITP, for qualifying residents. It's only $56 a month, exactly half the regular price. You'd need to apply through the City of Calgary's Fair Entry program and provide proof of income. Would that be something that might apply to you? No, I don't think I'd qualify for that. My salary is decent. I'm earning around $65,000 a year. I do have one more question, though. My wife sometimes drives me, but on days she can't, I take transit. Would it make more sense to just use a reloadable card and pay per ride? Absolutely, that's our MyFare card. You load money onto it and each single ride costs $3.60. You can tap it on buses or at C-train stations. Now, here's a helpful tip. The system has a daily cap of $8.40. So even if you ride 4 or 5 times in one day, you'll never pay more than that. If you're riding fewer than 16 days a month on average, the MyFare card would actually be cheaper than the monthly pass. That's really useful to know. I'd say I probably take transit about 12 to 14 days a month. So the MyFare card sounds like the better option for me. Where can I pick one up? You can purchase a MyFare card at any C-Train station kiosk, at select Shoppers Drug Mart locations, or at our main customer service center on 7th Avenue and 1st Street Southwest. The card itself costs $6, but that includes $3.60 of loaded fare, so you're really only paying $2.40 for the card. You can reload it online, by phone, or at any kiosk. Perfect. Your customer service center on 7th Avenue is actually really close to my office, so I'll pop in there during my lunch break tomorrow. One last thing, do the passes or the MyFare card work on the airport shuttle as well? The MyFare card and monthly passes do work on Route 300, which connects downtown to the airport. However, Route 300 has a premium fare of $11 per trip, so your monthly pass wouldn't fully cover it. You'd need to pay a supplementary charge of $7.40 on top of the regular fare. Most people heading to the airport regularly find it simpler to just pay the full $11 each time. Got it, thanks so much, Karen. You've been incredibly helpful. I'll head to the 7th Avenue Center tomorrow and grab a MyFare card. Have a great afternoon. That is the end of Part 1. You now have some time to check your answers to Part 1. Part 2. You will hear a recorded message from a municipal transit authority about service upgrades. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 20. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 20. Thank you for calling Brampton Transit's information line. This is an important recorded update regarding our summer service upgrades, effective June 15, 2026. First, we're pleased to announce that 14 new electric buses will be added to our fleet, replacing older diesel models on the Queen Street corridor. This investment of $23 million was approved by City Council last October to reduce carbon emissions by approximately 30% across the route. Second, our Zoom Rapid Transit line will extend westward to the Mount Pleasant GO station, adding 3 new stops and cutting commute times by up to 12 minutes during peak hours. Riders should note that construction on this extension will cause temporary detours along Bovaird Drive every weekend in July. Third, starting June 15, fares paid by Presto Card will include a free 2-hour transfer window, up from the current 90-minute window. Cash fares, however, will remain unchanged at $3.75. Finally, a new real-time tracking app called BT Go will launch on June 1, available for free download on both Apple and Android devices. For accessibility inquiries, press 2 now. To speak with a customer service representative between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., press 0. Thank you for choosing Brampton Transit. That is the end of Part 2. You now have some time to check your answers to Part 2. Part 3. You will hear a meeting between a landlord and two tenants about building maintenance issues. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 30. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 30. Thanks for coming in, Kevin and Priya. I've received your maintenance requests and I'd like to go over them together. Sure, Sandra. My biggest concern is the heating system. My unit's been freezing since early November, and it's really uncomfortable. I have the same problem on the third floor. Also, the hot water keeps cutting out every morning around 7. I understand. I've already contacted an HVAC technician. She's scheduled to inspect the boiler this Thursday. That's good to hear. What about the parking garage? The lights on level 2 have been out for weeks. It feels unsafe at night. Absolutely. I mentioned that in my email last month. And the recycling bins haven't been replaced either. You're right, and I apologize for the delay. The new LED lights are on order and should arrive by next Wednesday. I'll have the recycling bins sorted out this week. One more thing, the intercom at the front entrance hasn't worked properly since September. Visitors can't buzz in. That's a security issue, Sandra. I've had to go downstairs to let people in every single time. I completely agree. I'm getting 3 quotes from security companies this week. I'll pick the best option and have it fixed within 2 weeks. I appreciate that. Could you send us updates by email so we know what's happening? Yes, that would be great. Thanks for sitting down with us, Sandra. We just want the building to feel like home again. That is the end of Part 3. You now have some time to check your answers to Part 3. Part 4. You will hear a university lecture on climate policy and carbon pricing in Canada. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40. Welcome back, everyone. Today we have Dr. Marcus Tremblay from the Canadian Climate Institute joining us. Marcus, could you start by explaining how carbon pricing actually works in Canada? Absolutely, Elena. Canada uses 2 main mechanisms. The federal fuel charge applies a price per ton of carbon dioxide on fossil fuels, and the output-based pricing system covers large industrial emitters. The idea is straightforward: make pollution expensive so businesses and consumers shift toward cleaner alternatives. Some critics argue it simply raises costs for ordinary Canadians. How do you respond to that concern? That's a fair point, but most households actually receive more money back through the Canada carbon rebate than they pay in increased costs. The bottom 60% of income earners come out ahead financially. It's designed to be revenue neutral for families while still sending a price signal. Interesting. But what about provinces like Alberta that rely heavily on oil and gas? Doesn't carbon pricing threaten their economic base? It's a real tension. However, Alberta's own industrial pricing system has actually driven significant investment in carbon capture technology and methane reduction. The energy sector is adapting rather than collapsing. In fact, cleantech employment in Alberta grew by 18% between 2022 and 2025. So you see carbon pricing as compatible with energy-producing provinces. Has it measurably reduced emissions nationwide? Federal modeling shows carbon pricing accounted for roughly a third of Canada's projected emission reductions through 2030. It's not a silver bullet, though. You still need complementary regulations, clean fuel standards, building codes, public transit investment, working alongside the price signal. Looking ahead, what's the biggest challenge for Canadian carbon policy in the next decade? Competitiveness. As the price rises, Canadian exporters face pressure from countries without equivalent pricing. That's why border carbon adjustments, essentially tariffs on high-carbon imports, are becoming critical. Canada needs to coordinate with trading partners, especially the EU, to level the playing field and prevent carbon leakage. That is the end of Part 4. You now have some time to check your answers to Part 4. That is the end of the CELPIP listening test. You now have some time to transfer your answers to the answer sheet.
Before you go, don't forget to like this video, share it with other test takers, and subscribe so you never miss your daily IELTS and CELPIP tests. Drop your score in the comments. Your name could be featured in our monthly Achievers newsletter. Stay consistent, stay focused, and keep leveling up with MasterPrep.